Value is the foundation of mental health. Value is like wealth. The more values a person has, the more empowered and satisfied they will feel. But unlike money, intrinsic value has a deeper impact on a person's happiness. Many people strive to achieve money, but their ultimate goal is a sense of self-worth and self-affirmation. However, external values such as wealth, fame, and power alone cannot provide a solid foundation for lasting self-esteem and satisfaction. Internal values, such as honesty, kindness, personal growth, and truth-seeking, are stronger foundations for a sense of worth. But how can internal values be created? Are values absolute or relative? How can past values be revised and replaced with higher values? The concept of value can be considered a set of beliefs and principles by which a person regulates his life. Why are values important? Having stable values gives a person a sense of identity and coherence. A person with clear values is less likely to feel anxious and confused when faced with life's challenges and crises. He or she has a clear understanding of what is important to him or her in life and knows how to behave. For example, a person who considers justice and fairness as a core value will remain committed to his or her principles, even when his or her short-term interests may be at stake. In contrast, a person with unstable values may make decisions based on immediate gains and losses in any given situation and ultimately feel unstable and dissatisfied. Internal versus external values. One of the most important issues in understanding values is the distinction between internal and external values. Intrinsic values. These values are principles that originate within the individual and are not dependent on external circumstances. Examples of these values include truthfulness and honesty, seeking truth and honesty, kindness and empathy, understanding the feelings of others and helping them, justice and fairness, striving to observe justice in decision-making, freedom and individual agency, the right to choose and make informed decisions, responsibility, accepting the consequences of one's choices. Extrinsic values. These values are dependent on external factors and are related to the approval of others. Some of the most important of them are wealth and property, fame and popularity, power and social influence, appearance, approval of others. Extrinsic values are not bad in themselves, but they should not be preferred over intrinsic values. If a person defines their worth solely based on wealth or the approval of others, they will feel worthless when they lose it. Whereas intrinsic values are stable and keep a person strong even in difficult situations. How to create high intrinsic values. Creating sustainable values requires awareness, practice, and gradual change in beliefs. Here are some key steps to creating and strengthening intrinsic values. 1. Identifying current values. Many of our values are formed since childhood and are influenced by family, society, and culture. Some of these values may be ineffective or incompatible with personal growth. Therefore, the first step is to examine our current values and determine whether they are consistent with our long-term goals or need to be revised. 2. Determining desirable values. Values that contribute to personal growth and mental health are usually stable values that are independent of external circumstances. These values can be selected based on the individual's experience, study, and awareness. 3. Daily practice and repetition. Creating new values requires continuous practice. For example, If a person wants to strengthen honesty as an internal value, he or she must adhere to this value in his or her daily decisions and consciously choose honest behavior in different situations. 4. Dealing with challenges and social pressures, it is difficult to maintain internal values in situations where society or those around them do not adhere to them. However, a person who has strong and conscious values can resist social pressures. The impact of values on mental health. Values play a key role in mental health. Inconsistency between values and a person's behavior can lead to anxiety, stress, and feelings of guilt. Here are some important effects of values on mental health. 1. Guilt and shame. When a person cannot behave in accordance with his or her values, he or she experiences feelings of guilt. 2. Anxiety and stress. Inconsistency between one's values and the surrounding environment can cause stress and anxiety. 3. Depression. When a person loses their values or fails to adhere to them, they may experience feelings of emptiness and depression. Conclusion. Values play a decisive role in the quality of life and the feeling of happiness. Internal values, such as honesty, justice, and personal growth, are a solid foundation for self-esteem and lasting satisfaction. In contrast, excessive dependence on external values makes a person vulnerable to life's adversities. Each person can develop higher and more effective values in themselves through awareness, practice, and gradual change in their beliefs. Ultimately, internal values are a great and lasting wealth that helps a person feel strong and satisfied, even in the most difficult situations.